Okay, guys, I'm back. Let's go with part 2 of linear proportional relationships. Constant of proportionality, it's all mixed in there. So just so you're sure, whenever someone talks about a relationship in math, you'll see it a lot, especially in algebra. Relationship means how does one value change when the other changes? More specifically, how does y change when x changes? That's why you get the equation y equals k times x, because y changes the same amount, k, every time you change x. All right, so we stopped here. Let's pick up on number 4. I hope by now you already answered the question. Just in case you haven't, I'm going to pause a few seconds, let you write your answer, then you come back and check mine. Again, you're trying to get the general idea. You're not trying to get it word for word. Just understand the concept. What is the relationship between number of students and number of adults on a field trip? Okay, so there is one teacher for every 12 adults. If I said adults was X and students was Y, to find out how many students can go, I need to have one adult for every 12 students. That's my relationship. Is it constant? Yes, it is. It's constant, so it's proportional. Relationship between number of students and adults is proportional. Students is always 12 times number of teachers or adults. No students, no need for a teacher or an adult. Sorry for the noise in the background. The constant proportionality, y divided by x, 12 divided by 1, 36 divided by 3, 60 divided by 5 gives me 12. Well, then I can write my equation, because my general equation for a proportional relationship is y equals constant in proportionality times x, or y changes that amount every time x changes. So number of students is 12 times adults. Those are my words. Algebraic expression, y equals 12 times x. All right, so I got a graph. So explain the relationship. Well, take a minute and see what you come up with, and make sure you answer this question. If I know all this stuff over here, then I should be able to estimate how many are 40. So right here I only have 11, but I should be able to figure out how much would 40 cookies cost if I know this other information. All right, so what's my relationship? Sorry guys, gotta work on that. It's constant. It's also linear proportional. First of all, it's a straight line. Second of all, it passed through the origin. But let's talk more about some numbers here. Is it proportional? Yes, because I still have my y and my x. So you come here, let's go ahead and fill this in for a second. So if that was 2, this must have been 1. So that means every hash mark here is worth 1. So what do I have here? I have my y over y to x. Here is 1 to 2. Here it's 2 to 4. Here it's 4 to 8. And here it's, oops, I should have been 5, I'm sorry. 5 to 10. So my constant proportionality is half. What does that mean for my equation? Cost is 1/2 the times number of cookies. So my y, my cost, is 1/2 the number of cookies. So my equation is y equals 1/2 of x. Again, you could have wrote it 3 different ways. You could write y equals 1/2 x, or you could write y equals x divided by 2. That's at least 3 ways you could write that equation, but it all says the same thing. So how much would 40 cookies cost? Well, y equals 40, x equals 40 cookies, y equals whatever 1/2 of whatever x is. 1/2 of 40 is $20. All right, take a look at this equation. I'm sorry, this graph, and explain the relationship. Pause the video and give me your best answer, and then come back and check it against mine. Oops, I obviously messed this one up, but we'll keep going anyway. So it's not constant. Time and distance. It's like someone drove same rate, 60 kilometers an hour. 120 divided by 2 is also 60. Then they got here, 240 divided by 4 is 60, but I guess maybe they parked for an hour to get something to eat. Then they got back in the car and started driving again. But it's not constant, and it's not even linear. It's linear for a minute, then it stops, then it picks back up again. So is it proportional? No. If I did these proportions, these ratios, the first two would be fine. But then when I get here, what do I get? I get 240 and 5. Well, 240 and 5 is obviously not equal to 240 to 4. So it's not proportional here. There is no constant proportionality. The first three are good, but then the fourth one's not good. Now this one may be good. If I take 360 divided by 6, I get 60, but I need all of them to be constant. So because I don't have a constant proportionality, I can't do y equals k times x. So there's no single equation that represents this situation. I can't figure out how much distance is for 10 hours because it's not constant. I'd be guessing. Did they stop for another hour? Did they stop for 2 hours? Who knows what they did?